Hi there, it's Em here. I wanted to speak to you for a couple of minutes about having a growth mindset for God. I wonder what you're like when you face a challenge. A few weeks ago it was Lige's 15th birthday and we went to Go Ape in Bedbury to do the Treetop challenge, the hardest one I think it was, that's normally for adults. So we went there and I don't like heights, so I didn't do the challenge. Now that would be called a fixed mindset. Lige, however, went for it, and the rest of the family did as well, and they absolutely loved it. They said it was fantastic. But one thing that I remember about Lige is that when he was much younger, I think he was like year 4 or something in primary school, he went to a friend's birthday party, and Lige has got a fear of heights, and he was going on the first obstacle of the smaller one at Go Ape, and he got completely frozen with fear just because he's really frightened of going up in high places. And I remember he was on the ladder and he literally had this huge queue behind him with people waiting, but through his own sheer grit and determination and through friends really encouraging him, he managed to move that step up and he managed to do the rest of the obstacle course, and he absolutely loved it. And he had what I would call a growth mindset. So basically a fixed mindset is where you don't want to change, where you're scared of doing new things, where you're frightened of failure. And having a growth mindset is where the opposite of that, where you're willing to step out, to take a risk. You don't mind making mistakes and then you learn from your mistakes. And I think that that's what God wants us to be like, that he wants us to have a growth mindset for him, that he wants us to trust him even when things are difficult, even when we're frozen with fear, even if we're stuck on an obstacle or a ladder in our lives at the moment. He wants us to totally trust him, a bit like Peter when he stepped out of the boat. God wants to do life with us. So whether you're flying down a zip wire at the moment in your life or whether you're stuck on an obstacle, God wants to do it with you. There's a really cool saying for growth mindset which says anything is possible because the word itself says I'm possible. And actually they just nicked that from the Bible, because years and years before that someone wrote that in the Bible. In Luke 1 verse 37 it says nothing is impossible with God. So I hope you can remember that today. I hope that this week is a really good one for you, especially if you've got exams, and just that you know that God is with you and he's with you wherever you go, and that nothing is impossible with God. Have a great week.